heading into Nijo Castle today. It was built in 1603. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting place to go. Lived in until 1867 when it was surrendered to the emperor. And then from there, it was an occasional imperial family residence until 1939. And then it was handed to the city of Kyoto in 1994. It was registered as a World Heritage Site. So yeah, that's where we are today. Castle moat and the castle walls. Fascinating to think that the shoguns ruled in here from 1603 through to 1839. It was the end of the shogunate rule in Japan. We head through the beautiful gates with the gold detailing and then into the outer courtyard of the castle. So although the castle's always had a gate, this current structure was built for an imperial visit in 1626. So remember, it was 1603 or thereabouts for the original castle, but then it was beefed up for an imperial visit. There's lots of little detail, like lattice areas where they could drop weaponry and things onto anyone invading, as well as weapon storehousing and stuff within the gate, which is quite interesting and very necessary, I guess, if you're protecting from other shoguns, etc. So this will give you a little bit of an outline of the palace. The Ninamaru Goten Palace is down in the bottom there, and then up and across a small bridge is the Honomaru Goten Palace, and the whole area is part of the Nijonji Castle complex. This is part of the outer grounds, but then as you head towards the gates themselves, you can see all the beautiful detail up on the roof. Butterflies and cranes, tigers and dragons. Beautiful. And then through into this complex in here. This detail is around the tops and bottoms of lots of the gate posts. You can see it in a number of different places. Under the eaves and up into the roof line. This is the Ninamaru Goten Palace. Unfortunately, it's closed today. But yeah, that's the entrance in, again with the beautiful gold and all the detailing up in the roof line and up into that big roof behind, and then the iconic tree behind. In fact, there's a row of those trees, which we've seen everywhere. They've got the fantastic shape. These two bells were hanging in the villa housing at the Kyoto Shoshide, and they were used or rung to warn the village people and the city people of fire and other emergencies. So the bells originate from the Shimoyashiki villa, and they were transferred here in around 1867. But they've got really lovely detail on them, and then the patina of the aging is fantastic too. Getting close and have a look. The fish detail, or dragon detail actually. Entering through these incredibly hefty gates. see the timber posts required, and then the weight of the gates behind for protection for this inner palace area. The gardens out here would be quite serene. You've got a high wall all around, keeping out the sounds and the noise of a city. But yes, you can imagine it takes an army of gardeners. There's 3 or 4 just in this immediate place. Very, very skilled men and women keeping the trees and things in these wonderful shapes that Japanese landscaping is well known for. Coming over to a pond area over here. Another angle of the Hinamaru Palace. It's quite large. You can see the weight of the timbers and how they are just built to last. Another beautiful view of the gardens. Little rock bridges. A waterfall.
This is really protected. They've got the double moat. Yeah. The external moat and then the...
We're now heading to the Maru Goten Palace on that second moated area. Again, a secondary moat, secondary fortified walls, secondary inner gates, the last bastion of protection. When the shogunate officially finished and the emperor took over possession of the castle, he personally supervised the layout of the garden from the top of this palace in 1896. The records show that he even picked where the plants and trees were supposed to go and in what positions. You often see the trees supported by these large bamboo posts, just to potentially keep the tree in a certain shape, but also to take some of the weight. These would be at least 120 years old, I would think. We're standing on the stone base of the tower keep. So the tower would have been much taller than this height, and it was struck by lightning, burned down in 1750 something, and would have been a lookout. It's also said to be the only tower that an emperor set his foot in not once but twice, which was obviously quite unusual. So you can see the width of the protection back to the secondary corner tower over there, the white, and then that's the outer wall coming off of that. And then this tower obviously would have been taller to have given a view way out beyond the city limit. so to speak. So this is a view of the inner moat, and then the castles and palaces back over to the Kyoto city buildings. This will give you an idea of the thickness of the inner protection wall, and then there was an outer one. So we're down in the bottom left red dot, and we're going to be travelling as far up as those red gates that we want to go. It's a 4.5k round trip, so we probably won't do the whole